going on, everybody? Welcome back, second time this week, to another episode of C Blocks Drops. I'm your host, owner of Both Sides of the Bun. To my left, once again, co-host, owner of Global Gym Purple Cobras, and to my right, co-host and owner of Solanic Sanitation. I usually ask you guys how you're doing, but
I feel like I just saw you.
It's our first time ever doing a second show, so I guess I can ask you how you're doing.
I'm doing good.
We've had some players go.
Basement here, actually. I feel like I've been here a lot recently, but it's for a good reason. This league's very important. We got a lot. Well, I guess we don't actually have.
We had our trade deadline.
We did.
So sorry, I just touched your leg there, co-host. But we had our trade deadline 3:00 this morning. Nothing happened. We did have one trade we'll talk about, but we will get in. We don't want to just bore you guys with that one trade, so we will get into maybe some playoff percentages, who we think are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this we talked about a little bit. This might be a little more of a playoff show.
A little more of a playoff show.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And we'll give our picks, of course, for this week's games. Some of us, like we said, Jake and I had players go. A few others had players go in that dreadful game last night. Terrible football game.
10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, yesterday all around was kind of just the week started off with a bang with the trades, and then like just ended with a whimper.
Yeah, it was not as exciting. I think we all anticipated, but we had a good Saturday and I believe Tuesday.
Should we just cover that last trade?
Yeah, we'll go to the trade.
Last little Indian there.
The big one. This was probably the biggest
The
one.
one and only. Yeah, this one was huge.
Set the tone for the day, actually.
Yeah. So surprisingly enough,
I don't hate the trade.
I'm not saying I hate the trade. It's just it's
it's
so bland.
The two
that
people
it
involved.
literally like ran through the
unseasoned
day.
chicken.
Yeah.
I was thinking this yesterday. I forget who I said it to, but what if like this entire season we were giving Foster and Alex shit, and they just been texting each other, putting this trade together for weeks.
They've been stuck on the names. Like, dude, I don't know, man. Ingram's getting ready to bust down here.
Foster's like, yo, what if I get Kamara and he'll be my backup? Well, then will you trade him?
The
for
Kamara
me?
trade was the lead
Yeah,
into the Ingram trade.
To be fair,
That's
I think this trade is really big for Foster. Like,
I think Foster's-
especially
Kamara's
given one of the things we said. Yeah, Kamara is out. One of the things we said when Foster traded Bry for Kamara is like, and Bry confirmed it. I believe he said like, you know, everything I said about him was his reasonings were correct, but you know, he panicked. Foster kind of took the risk. I don't know if Foster like knew he could get Ingram.
I'll tell you who didn't.
Or he gambled. Yeah, Alex probably.
Alex did not.
Do you think Alex knew that Kamara was out?
No chance.
Not a shot.
Not a shot. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't announced, but no, I don't think Alex knew Kamara was possibly at risk.
I guess maybe I worded that wrong.
I sent Alex a trade for Ingram on Wednesday when I figured that they were talking about how like they were bringing people up from the practice squad, and I was like, all right, Kamara's out.
Things were not looking good.
When they do that, like Kamara's out.
Do you think Foster knew that he was getting Kamara's backup?
Yes.
Yes. No shot at Foster. You're not taking any of my trades.
I think Foster was fully aware of what was going on in this trade and did a great job. I would give him a better grade. So for the trade,
I hope he threw in some merch from that Etsy store.
Mr. Salty shirt. Shout out to what's his stuff?
Philly art for
the
Foster.
Link's in the last video.
Foster Kids for Philly art or something like that.
We're back at 30 subscribers, by the way. I think that was him. Because I sent him the last episode directly, and I said, watch
So he
it.
unsubscribed and then subscribed?
I don't think he was ever subscribed to begin with,
So
Joe.
what was going on earlier with 17? I was so out of.
Oh, we were fighting.
Yeah, I missed that.
So,
whoa. I missed that.
Let's get to the trade. So Alexander Great sent Mark Ingram to Foster's team, El Tigre Azul.
Yeah.
Was that a question?
For
Bless you.
Devontae Smith.
Yes.
They were both on each other's benches. Devontae Smith might have to start with D-Hop being out. Alex has D-Hop.
I actually wrote that. Like, is Alex like covering his bases there because Hopkins did not play, or is it just like, yeah, whatever, I'll take
Alex made
the guy who that guy scored 20.
Alex
I'll
made
take
a
him.
trade, and 3 things fell into place for both of them.
Yeah. I would give, and we were giving out grades. I don't have much to spend on this trade. I do think it was good, better for Foster. Now with the Kamara news, I'd give him a
C+
for both
of them.
No, I give Foster a B.
Yeah, sure.
He was probably never going to play Devontae
B plus
Smith.
Foster.
Sure.
I'll go B minus.
Sure. Yeah. I was going to say B plus.
Actually, you know what? I just won't spend any more time on this trade.
Do we want to talk about
the pickups?
Yeah, the post deadline moves, but like they're all pretty boring, I suppose.
Everyone.
Yeah. We built yesterday up to be something huge, and it blew.
When was the last time? Me and Mike made a deadline deal, I think, last year. I think that was my Higgins deal.
I think I've had a deadline deal every year.
When have we actually... Have we ever had like an actual day?
Mike and I made Shady McCoy
like a minute before.
We made it a minute before the deadline.
It was like 59. It was
11:59, and the deadline was noon.
You know what? That was in 17.
He sent it to me at 56, and I purposely waited to 59 just to kind of
I was in
get everything on the ropes.
I do remember the deadline being at 12. I was obviously at work. I was working. Very disgusting.
Is that how we ended up with the 3 a.m.?
Yeah, we figured
because we were everyone
was working at noon. Yeah. Figured everyone will be sleeping at 3, so maybe next year we meet in the middle.
We take break at 11:50, so I had like that 10-minute window right before 12 o'clock.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was hopefully no one from work is watching this. Probably get a call from HR, but I was like, I was on the phone with a client while we were talking about Shady and Zeke, and I put the client on. I was like, hey, yeah, give me a second. I look at my resources real quick. Put you on hold. I'm texting Mike like, yo, we gotta make this work quick.
and then Zeke got suspended the next day.
Yeah, luckily I didn't. So.
You will now, because I am forwarding this to your employer.
All right. Well, that was the trade. Really boring trade deadline. Yesterday, leading up to it was fun.
Yeah, we had a fun week. I would say the last 5-6 days.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
We're pretty good.
But I would say the teams are probably we have a wide variation for teams that are in playoffs and then teams that are.
There's a big
no
gulf.
one really hanging around.
I think there's probably maybe 3 teams that are hanging around, and only one of them has a realistic chance to grab that rope. Do we want to talk about any almosts? Did anyone have any almost exciting trades that just didn't get wired out?
You can ask LT Gray Zool if we were almost at a deal. I couldn't tell you. It's like pulling teeth trying to get an answer yesterday from everybody.
I offered Gibson throughout the league, and I got nothing. I was very surprised. You figure with running back for basically a wide receiver 3, I was asking.
Me and Tom spent probably about 2.5 hours arguing about CMC and Harris, and I actually.
There's no reason to make that.
There were other pieces, and I had at one point he did send it, and then I had Charlie had sent over Chuba. So I could have had CMC and Chase, but I just couldn't. I couldn't take the Chase bye this week. I need to win. Losing Jose last week kind of fucked me, and then he wanted Ted as the 3rd player. He was going to include Beasley for Cooper, which
I think the problem with yesterday was a lot of the big names were already moved. So like you, I was trying to piece AP and a receiver for a minor upgraded receiver. I was just trying to do
get
something
anything.
small.
Honestly, with Gibson being that I have the 5 running backs, but 3 of them potentially with injuries. I was definitely trying to move one. Gibson obviously being the odd man out, but looks like he's staying on the team. I won't be dropping him, so.
I think it's harder in our league.
Never have I seen someone become more disappointed with one of their guys.
Like first round or second round.
Yeah, he was all about Gibson, and he just it's
I think
a disappointing son for you.
Our league is difficult to make those minor bench trades.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to trade the big name.
But you would figure even with
that's the East. The West is unresponsive, but the East is crazy escalation. You could ask somebody for their 5th wide receiver, and suddenly it's what do you want for Christian McCaffrey? It's oh my God, where did that come from?
Well, I think me and you could have had a deal yesterday with everyone healthy. I think me and you had a fair offer.
You just would not budge. Everybody nope. I'm attached. Yeah, I love him.
Not getting rid of him.
I think you said Cordero Patterson is like a son to you.
Yeah.
I think he's older than you, but
Cooper, along with Devo, along with JT.
Before we get into the playoff chances, do we want to clear the air from the group chat since apparently I offered you Corey Davis?
Right. Whoa, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you want to continue this, I feel like you already lost in the group chat.
I'm out. I didn't read it because I was out. So
let me give you a breakdown.
Yeah, I don't know really.
So
hold on, I'm going to tell the story because he's going to tell some bullshit.
We're going to air this.
I called Mike.
Over the air. Hold on,
Mike was who are you talking with? Steve or something like that?
I took a shot at Steve and
Jose.
I
said Mike's deals have been sus all year because twice so far this year he sent me a trade, and he even admitted to it.
Oh, I didn't send it.
I didn't
send you nothing.
Okay, you sent me a text. But you sent me an offer, and both times he admitted that was me trying to get one over a little bit. So yesterday he sent me what plus JJ would get me Dalvin Cook. So I go, are you trying to get rid of Dalvin Cook? Are you trying to get Dalvin Cook without getting rid of a running back? And he goes, yeah, perhaps.
I said perhaps. There was no yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, not the same thing.
He said perhaps. I don't know word for word what you said. He didn't say
See?
yeah in front of it. Same thing,
His
right?
story's already changing, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not.
Because this is what it is.
Also,
Fake news.
While we're on air, since you haven't read it yet, I'll pull up the screenshot so you can see.
Yeah, I was out on this.
So
I saw Jose argue with somebody. I'm like, what the hell
This is
is
Mike.
going
This
on
is
here?
Mike initiating the
Jose?
chat.
No.
What does that say? And then he doesn't show the timestamp because there's 25 minutes between this. Where he goes, what's Lamar cost?
Well, that's because
so this isn't like,
you clearly threw cold water on that, so I moved on to a different player.
So
I mean,
I
what does
said-
that have to do with anything?
So this whole time, by
The
way,
price of tea in China has nothing to do with
who's
cost
coming
down
to
the sheet.
He texted you.
Okay, so where I offered Corey Davis at, beyond fucking me. 'Cause
Well,
it's
let's
not in here at all.
as Joe has admitted to already upstairs.
Did I offer you Corey Davis?
When I then proceed to ask about Lamar, he said
But
Matt.
did
Matt
I offer you Corey Davis?
Matt and a receiver. I said, humor me. Of course, I knew it was going to be Michael
I respond
Pittman.
Corey Davis?
Of course, I knew it was going to be Michael Pittman because he wanted a 2-for-1. He wanted a 2-for-1, and I was not going to do that.
Okay.
So then I asked you for a receiver on IR. You said no. I respectfully didn't ask for your best receiver, Keenan Allen.
Then you go.
And then you tried saying like I'm
Can
like
I ask where Jose
breaking.
started arguing with you?
Because Mike offered Jose like Miles Sanders for Saquon
No,
Barkley.
it was completely
So
unrelated.
I said Mike
Somebody-
was
somebody-
offers this whole year.
Alright.
Somebody
I'm
said
back.
something
I'm
about the
back.
trade, and I actually agreed with Joe. And then he's a deranged fan, comes
I
after
said-
me.
Also, can we talk about how whenever someone calls Mike out on his bullshit, they're a fan of his? I think he's been doing this to you for over the years.
No.
Saying you're a
Well,
fan of his. The whole East is in a fan
Jake
club.
literally just takes shots that are unprovoked all the time, much like you did today.
Also, I want to see right here in the shoot. Guys offer me Corey Davis for Pittman. Not once have I offered him Corey Davis.
Joe, what would the trade have been had you put somebody else in the deal?
I don't know because you came to me.
It would have been Corey Davis.
Offer me someone, and you didn't. So
Lamar and who
we
else?
never had a Lamar
for Stafford and Pittman. Who would you have added?
We never
Because you didn't hypothetically do it.
because I didn't come to you. I didn't care about that deal.
But you
came
did
to me.
mention me today, and that's the point. I don't care. I moved
you're
on,
talking
and now
about
you're bringing it on camera.
No, because you're talking about a different deal. The
Listen,
stuff deal
guys,
was you trying to get Cook for not giving a running back.
Here is legitimately what Joe is doing.
Is he making sense?
He is trying
He was
to.
basically trying to give you 2 receivers for.
I don't know
no,
what he was trying to get
not
because he
two
wouldn't tell me.
receivers.
He just said, "What do you want with JJ for Cook?" And I said, "Are you trying to get Cook without getting a running back?" And he goes, "Perhaps."
There were no additional talks. I mean, it was literally a question. And then he threw cold water on it. I moved on.
You didn't move on.
And
You
then-
texted me 20 minutes later.
Yeah, for different players that were not Dalvin.
That was
Cook.
not. They were not Corey Davis either.
They were not Dalvin Cook.
So
See,
2 things that you mentioned were wrong.
no, what
You
you're
never
saying,
offered Corey
you're
Davis.
saying a lot of stuff
You never
that's
offered
wrong.
Corey Davis.
This is pointless.
I
This is a
feel like-
waste. This was supposed to be a short
I feel
television
like
show.
Jose made a good move. He did what he needed to do. And
Well-
God bless him.
Yeah, Jose gave you the Malone. You're gonna win.
Compared to Jose getting
See,
offered
I
Miles
hate
Sanders,
Miles
I didn't realize that was the deal. I agree. Your deal
It
was
was
better than
no, it
Miles
was
Sanders.
not actually.
It was down to me and you, as the guy said.
Of course. We were
Jose
giving
later
him-
admitted
was
off,
really
off group chat that 8 a.m. was he was busy later and he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to do anything. That's why he did that. I was
Sure,
like,
but I mean,
and he admitted that he didn't really give me a chance
well,
to make
right,
an offer.
but if that was your deal, like we
It
obviously
wasn't.
we had the
It
better
wasn't
deals.
the deal. This was like weeks before.
Right.
I didn't
Like
harass.
he said, we've been in the
We've been in
talk.
it for
We've
months.
been
Hold
I've
on.
been talking to Jose for
So since Saquon
5
twisted
weeks.
his
This
ankle,
has nothing to do. Like I just said, Jose jokingly. I said he gave him away for a pack of smokes. Gave the Malone away for
I
a
saw
pack of
that. And I
smokes.
figured
I did see that.
And that was funny, and that's what started off. And then
I
Joe
did
got
see that,
Joe got
yeah.
butthurt, started attacking me,
No.
which was weird because he was also criticizing it,
No,
and I was sticking up for him.
I just said.
And then
you've been giving
Steve said
stuff
something,
deals.
and I
I'm not-
said, "Steve, go back under your rock. You
I'm
just
not
crawled out
attacking
like
you.
a
I
week
was
ago."
I wasn't attacking you. I was just stating the facts that you gave sus deals.
No,
I can't look at my phone for a half hour. And
This
all of a sudden
guy-
it's just haywire.
Joe is trying to assassinate my character. He repeatedly
I'm not
slanders
trying
me.
to do that.
I saw Steve, at one point Steve said we need some beef in the West. I saw
Yeah,
that.
and apparently his new best friend was happy to oblige.
Because
You know,
you
Steve
and
real.
Tom were arguing or
best
something
buddies.
like that.
Nah, Tom and I weren't arguing. Steve
I don't think
realized.
so.
that
I thought he said Joe's and Joe.
Steve realized that you were the anchor holding down his trade talks. He stopped asking you for advice, and look at the moves he's making. His team's great.
again, gave him no advice.
Huh.
We could put out the receipts on that too, where I say, if I give my opinion, Joe will cry. And
I'm gonna
6
rip
weeks
up
later.
I'm gonna rip up my virtual script of the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is your fault. You're the one that brought this up, and I know he's petty and he just can't move on.
Playoff percentages, Mike. Why don't we get into playoff percentage?
Good idea, Jake.
Why don't we start with your team?
41% right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
Why don't we start with the
It's
actual
not good. But
bottom?
let's talk points for.
So we got Jose
Stock
and
record.
Alex at 1%. And Steve
That's
at
gonna
1%.
change. You still gotta play me twice. You know you're not taking it.
You see, we're still arguing.
He
with
won't
each
shut the fuck up.
I wanted to get it moving. I said let's start with your team.
Oh, Jake.
You want to talk about yourself
my
so much, I
God.
figured let's
No.
talk about your team.
No, again.
other. I got 98%.
This,
chance
I'm
of
telling you right
making
now,
it.
this episode's not good.
Tom at 94%. Brock at 93%. This doesn't, I think, take into. I think it does take into account division.
I'm not sure if it
No,
does
it
or
does not.
doesn't because it like
Oh, because we can't.
It 100%
Brian
does not.
Charlie's
Because we don't have
percentages
it.
would be lower.
It does not. Yeah, I
For
have to manually adjust the playoff schedule.
I feel like
whenever.
everyone's percentage would be at least a little
Yeah.
bit lower.
Well,
I
mine
don't
and
think-
Mike
I
should
don't-
probably be higher.
I don't think yours or Tom's would be. Probably not Brock or Matt's.
I think ours would be higher because they would realize like we have a higher.
I think
Well,
Foster's would probably go up
tied.
too as
Yeah,
well.
so
Yeah, Foster as
He's
well.
tied
Foster as
with,
well.
With
Yeah,
Foster.
I think we would all go up.
Yeah, this basically is just off the top 6 teams, I guess. But according to ESPN, we pretty much have a locked playoff.
We have 2 teams. Yeah, we have 2 teams in the East trying to climb up and catch Tom and Brian and Charlie. Guess we could start there. Do we?
Crazy. That's Tom's now the one that they're trying to catch.
Yeah, well, a loss this week for me puts me at 6-4, and
Yeah.
right after, after Thursday night, I feel like both of them are going to win this week. Brian,
Actually,
Are any of the
Brian and Charlie are going to win this week.
none of the but like the other
everyone
3
East is gonna
I
win
think
this
the other 3 East teams that are in the playoffs right now
Yeah, Steve's playing Mike.
are
well,
not gonna like be able to win. So I mean,
Well, we
they're
do.
gonna be looking at the same scenario next week.
Well, you got to start taking into account your schedule, right? Because we and this is the last for division game or interdivision games, right?
not for everyone.
Not for everyone. Okay, so some teams still do have them, but
Yeah.
more or less you're going to be beating up on each other. There's only 6 teams in the division, you know.
Yeah.
People are going to be like I think Brian and Charlie still have to play each other, so one of them's going to have a loss.
Let's not count out Steve either.
I'm not.
Actually.
No.
'cause he's
Steve's 2 games back
2 games back.
with
Yeah.
points, so he's.
Yeah, I don't think his 1% chance is accurate.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
really.
I'd give him at least
Yeah,
It's
I-
reading
5
it
to
as-
10.
It's reading it as though there's
No, yeah, I know.
you know what 8 teams, 9 teams above them. When in
But
reality
let's take a look at Charlie's schedule.
Should probably wrote these down in
Yeah,
advance.
well, we're doing this off a win. So Charlie has Alex this week, right? I think we can call that a win. He plays me.
Yeah, that
really
sick. He put up a goose egg.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
that's
we
a
can call that a
backbreaker.
win. He's got me, Joe, Steve, Bry. He has 3 out of them 5, I think, are very winnable games between you, Steve, and Alex. I think on that schedule they could be 3 wins right there. So that puts him at what, 8?
feel a little disrespected that Brian's not on that list and I am, but
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's
who else is he playing? He's playing.
me.
So yours is not winnable.
No, he ain't
Okay.
winning that game.
Just want to double check. God, I hope Charlie beats you.
Are there any
I'm
buys?
saying
No, realistically, are there
say
any
he
buys?
gets 3 out of
for
that
that
week, right? It only puts him at 8.
I don't even know like what week is this? Next week? Week 13?
Who?
I'm saying.
You-
the,
yeah, but
I play a
I'll
week.
talk specifically about that
No, I'll
matchup.
tell you right now. I got a couple by.
The cool
That's
way
the big one.
I mean, that hurts.
Yeah.
That does hurt you.
the cool way this is breaking down though is
I didn't even realize that.
there's a possibility because Steve plays Tom in the final week. There's a possibility that Brian and Charlie playing each other the final week could
Is a
be
playoff
playing
spot?
for a playoff spot
Yeah.
if Steve beats Tom.
Well, like I was saying, you got to look at it this way. 3 out of 5 gets him at 7. I don't think 7's making the playoffs, right? So Charlie needs a win. I think 9 in our division probably gets you in, right? So Charlie, realistically,
So you need to go 9 and 5. You think?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I
Charlie
think,
needs to go.
I think someone at 8 and 6 will
4
probably
and 1,
sneak
Charlie
in.
needs
8 and 6 will get you in.
So Charlie would need to end the season 4.
Because eventually, you guys
Maybe
all
even
you
7
all still
and
have to
5.
play each other,
But-
right?
but-
You and Tom are the only 2 that have played
you
each other
add,
seven.
twice.
you add in points as well, and he's sitting 120 something points behind Tom. Can he catch him?
That's the thing. These teams are gonna have to beat Tom.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna have to beat him
realistically,
and
he's gonna
drop him.
like Bry and Charlie are gonna have to jump Tom. Like,
Yes.
You can't tie him. You got to jump him because I don't think you're gonna be.
Bry's got a brand new team, right?
Yeah.
Tom does get Jose this week.
Tom had a very favorable schedule. We should have won last week as well.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if Jose's missing anyone, but the projections right now
are
very high in Tom's favor.
Damian Harris is projecting 0 right now.
So
he did pick up J.J. Nelson.
He plays Matt twice.
Who?
Is that his name, J.J.? Who's the backup on?
Not
Bolden,
Taylor.
not Ramondre, J.J. Taylor, excuse me.
Tom plays Matt twice, and I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you.
Tom plays Matt twice?
Still, yeah, out of the final 5 games. He has Matt twice, Brock, Jose, and Steve.
I think that helps you, if anything.
I don't know. I don't know how I would want that. Would I want Matt just to sweep him? But that ends up giving Matt probably the bye.
Yeah, why would you want the guy ahead of you in the standings to sweep
Well, I'm saying,
anybody?
because it keeps at least Tom away from me. You know what I mean? It gives me a playoff spot. Or do I want Tom to get a couple more
I don't
wins?
think you're in danger of missing the playoffs. I think you're playing for the bye now. So you want Tom to win those games.
Yeah, I think you and Matt have pretty much locked yourselves in.
You have the points.
So it's really down to Tom, Brian, Charlie,
Yeah,
Steve.
it's pretty much if Tom holds on.
Yeah.
It's Tom's spot.
Let's go around the horn. Do you think Tom's going to hold on?
Yes.
I think it's Steve.
Yeah,
I think had Charlie won last week, maybe, but I think Tom probably holds on, barring injuries, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what happened last year. Guy was 3 games back with points and ends up calling the shot.
I mean, his bench is destroyed, but his starters are still. He might still have the best starters in the league.
But we can all agree, I guess Tom's literally 1 injury away from everything just going down the drain. 1 big injury away.
Most teams are.
This is where it gets interesting, though, because you have an injury, there's no trading now.
Yeah, you can't.
How do you build your roster through the waiver wire? I agree. Not to make it boring, but I think Tom's going to hold on as well. I'll still say Charlie if Tom...
Charlie's the dark horse.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, so we say the 3 of us make the playoffs. Who would you say gets the bye? Does Matt hold on? Matt's schedule is...
I think you get it.
Yeah, I think you're going to grab the bye as well.
Let's see... Who the hell is Matt? Matt has Foster, Tom, Fry, Tom, me.
Yeah, Saquon comes back next week, right? That's what they're projected?
As of now,
So...
yeah.
It'd be cool if you guys were playing for the bye at the end.
Yeah, that'd be really,
but I think you're going to take the bye.
So then let's move out west. What happens with that 3rd spot, I guess? You and Brock pretty much, I think so.
I don't feel comfortable at all.
You feel the same way I do. Like, I can look at this and be like, I do, you're 6-3.
Well,
you're this, and then
you're 240 points above me as well.
Yeah, but I'm only...
It's like 2 good weeks.
2 games, well, 2.5 at the points, but 2 games up on Brian and Charlie. I have 2 teams, and then 1 with Tom. I have a lot of teams on my ass opposed to you.
Yeah, I don't want to talk... I do think my team... I think I have a pretty good shot at making the playoffs right now.
Yeah, but that was more of my point. Like, I have a lot more teams chasing me.
I do. My schedule is a bitch to close the season. I have you, Mike, Charlie, Mike.
Ooh.
And then Jose at the end. The final week. But
gotta throw something in there.
It's a tough schedule for sure. I don't think that anyone has buys going on when they play me either. Actually, you know what? Charlie does have Tyreek Hill on bye, which is huge.
Yeah, that's another thing. I have a lot of buys coming.
Yeah.
JT hasn't had a bye yet. Cooper hasn't had. Cup hasn't had a bye yet. Mahomes hasn't had his bye yet. I still have a lot coming up where I can.
Yeah, I've got 3 left. Week 14 is the dangerous one for me. Because I'll have to scrounge up a flex, assuming there's no injuries.
Well, let's go into your team a little bit, because you have a little bit of... I mean, we both play each other twice, obviously, but I think your schedule's a little bit easier than mine to close the season. You have Steve...
I mean, in theory...
Steve, Alex, Brock as your other 3 games. So I would vote that...
I think I'm gonna get the 3rd spot, definitely.
Do you catch me for 2? Do I?
So, I mean, well, if I sweep you, yeah. I mean, it's going to come down to our games.
So you got Mike's up. I got Foster's. He has Matt, Alex, Jose, Brock, Alex.
I don't like that.
So, I mean...
He's never got an easier road than I do.
I would say he loses this week, right? So that probably puts him a game behind you. I think you win this week, right? So just let's play it out that way. You win this week. He loses. That puts you a game and points above him.
Yeah.
He's looking at Alex, Jose, Brock, Alex, and Mike's looking
Mike's got me, Alex, me, Brock. So they both play Alex and Brock. Mike plays me twice. Foster plays Alex again and Jose.
I mean, it's right there for the taking for both. Yeah, I think it's a wide open.
I mean, looking at this, I'm starting to think, shit, could I follow up the season where I had the biggest jump to make the playoffs with the biggest collapse?
Yeah.
I don't like this schedule.
No, and he's only, 2 games behind you?
Mike and Foster are both 2 games behind me. I believe both with points over me.
I don't think Foster has jump.
Oh, no, Foster does not. So, yeah. I mean, but to be the man, you gotta beat the man. So, you know,
No, I think it'll probably be me getting the 3rd spot. I think me and Joe will probably. It's a good bet that we'll probably split.
I mean, it's just.
I'm going to take myself both times when those episodes come around. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to take myself once. I'm going to give you.
Fake humility. And then I mean, what's Brock's record? Is the real question. Like, who's his road at the end of the playoffs?
That's true. Does he have an easy?
Yeah, like who would?
So it is Bry, Jose, Tom.
I was going to ask if was this week our last interdivisional week, but I guess not.
Foster, you. He has a very tough road, I think, to end the season.
Brock could be the difference of if he beats you and loses to Foster. I think there's 3 losses there. I think Bry. I think he loses this week. I think he. Just looking at the
Bry is projected to beat him by 10 points.
Just looking at the teams, I think Bry wins this week. I think Tom and I think you get him week 14. So that leaves him Foster and Jose.
See, week 14 is dangerous for me. Because I'm going to be missing Pittman, and if Sanders is back,
so again, that's not taking everything into account. That's just me looking at
and
thinking of
I mean, we'll see.
I think, so despite what looked like it was going to be pretty, I think when we first got out
I think the West is still wide open.
Yeah, I think the West is wide open.
But that would get him, even 2 wins would get him to 9. That puts him in a position for the playoffs. He's in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Brock is in the playoffs hands down. He's not missing.
It's his to lose.
At that point, you're probably the only one that can catch him because they only have 4 wins.
Yeah, I think if he gets to 9,
so they would have to run the table to get to 9.
Yes.
Right.
And outscore him in points because he's right there at Mike.
Exactly. All right. So you would have to run the table. Foster would have to run the table. So realistically, you and him are the only 2 that are really
get the bye.
Yeah, that are really fun.
We don't play each other anymore this year. We split already 1-1.
Yeah. Which is another thing we're going to throw on the ballot next year.
Yes, for tiebreaker.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's so. I guess we'll go around the horn here.
Yeah, we talked about that. We can talk about that off air a little bit more, but that was thrown out.
What's the point of points then?
People are starting to get a little pissed with it. I think Tom was kind of making
no.
fuss.
Points will be the tiebreaker, but if you, so if I
only if this is the case if you're in the same division.
Well, me and Brock beat each other once each, so it would go to points.
Yeah.
No.
But if I literally
talked. We talked about head-to-head becoming.
That would be
point.
Tom kind of not made a fuss, but when I was busting Tom's balls about me being in first place, he started making a little hissy
Tom
fit.
has nobody. Who cares?
The point is, he was having a little hissy fit about the fact that he beat me twice, and then I'm still.
I would argue that I know points mean a lot, but wins mean the most.
I mean, I agree, but
so.
When it comes to the tiebreaker, I mean,
another teaser.
But anyway, we'll talk about that. Let's go around the horn again for the 3rd spot in the West. Do we agree? I mean,
I think
all 3 spots.
I think it's going to stay probably the same. Yeah, I think
in the same order.
I think you and me fight it out for the 2nd spot.
Okay.
Joe, let me just look at your.
Not pretty, man.
Because I think I'm going to pull with 1 game of you after this week.
Where am I?
Second from the top.
There, I'm just gonna find it. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you lose this week. I think I should win this week.
And your difference is Charlie.
And that's a game.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you got a tough road.
Yeah. 2 losses.
Am I the only one that's done with their East matchups?
Yeah. In the West for those competing? Yeah. Oh no, Foster is too.
Yeah, he plays Alex twice.
Yeah,
you play Jose twice, or something. You play somebody twice, and he plays...
No, he's lost to Jose twice already. He doesn't want to play him anymore.
Easy dub.
I think it's going to stay the way it is as well. I think I'm going to end 2nd. Mike's going to end 3rd. We'll probably split, like you said, and that's going to be the...
Yeah, I think
Brock can get the bye.
Even with, like I said, just with the 2 wins, I think 9 can give Brock the bye.
Yeah, last week ended my chances of making a push for the bye.
Huge win by Brock last week.
Yeah, and then, I mean it's been
Rest of the division lost.
it's pretty much every week right now we're saying like Brock snuck in another
5
win.
in a row.
Brock gets another win. Brock gets another win.
I don't think he's winning this week though.
No. Like we're gonna make our game predictions, but I think the East has another pretty big week.
5 in a row.
I hope so.
He got 5 points out of Gaskin, but Bry only got 7 out of Freeman. So that's kind of a
Yeah, I guess that kind of offsets their not
Yeah,
too different of a
it's-
player at this point.
I think
Murray
the
might
real
not
thing's
play.
gonna be Kyler, yeah.
Murray might not play. That puts Matt Ryan has been playing pretty well, but I'd
I
probably
would
take.
need Matt Ryan to play well, so
Yeah.
unfortunately I would have to have Ryan in that one.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's the playoff matchup. We'll check in again as we get closer to the playoffs. We still have 5 weeks left.
Yeah, well,
so.
I was going to say it earlier. It's interesting because I think it's been pretty much these 6 teams since the start. So
Right.
we started around week 3, I guess, 4. We were like, we're starting to look into playoffs. Who's here? And it's been pretty steady. The numbers have changed, but it's been pretty steady with the teams who've been up top.
Well, yeah, I think
No one's
pretty
stuck up.
early.
is what I'm saying.
Jose got decimated, I think, in
Right,
the span of a week.
But what we kept talking about, we're like, Charlie can make a run. Can Charlie make a run? No one's made that run.
Yeah,
no one's busted into the
Every
playoffs.
time Charlie, he's just reaching out to get it, it just gets pulled back a little bit further. Like, these games that he should win or that you look like that he's going to win, they just...
Steve would be a story if Steve comes
Yeah,
back.
that'd be as much as we
be-
have trashed Steve all year.
I think if that happens next year at the deadline, you see some people doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, we could. That is our. We're gonna make this a quicker show. We do just have
this is not quick at all.
the week.
No,
Yeah.
I spent 15 minutes arguing.
No, wait. We were
Just talking.
complimenting your moves. Lack thereof. What are we doing for?
Just for a quick note, Steve's end of schedule is Mike, Bry, me, Charlie, Tom.
No, that's
I
story.
don't think I don't think it runs out.
That story
Make
is
it
over.
even more memorable.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened. But
Let's go into our picks for the week really quick, then we'll wrap it up. We will start with Mike versus Steve. We just talked about Steve's team. Steve does have Joe Mixon on bye. Steve is currently a 15-point dog.
my picks were made before Thursday night. I
Yeah.
liked Mike going into the week.
I also, unfortunately, like Mike's team in this matchup. They also didn't have anyone going last week, last night, excuse me. So
Yeah, our projections are the only games that didn't change, but
I
yeah.
assume you're
yeah,
taking
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
My team's better than Steve's, come on, let's be honest.
The new and improved B Block's fine.
It's still-
We'll see.
A hoopty.
All right, Brock, the Brock football team taking on shirts off, pants down. Brian's team. Last night they both did, as we mentioned, have the one running back each going. Brian is currently a 10-point favorite. I'll start off. I hate to say it, but I do like Brock's team. I think James Robinson might not play again. And if he does, he's going to be on a snap count more than likely. I don't see him getting that 90% snap share
When the
usually.
hell did Brian get James Robinson? I was like, James Robinson.
That trade with Foster. We spent like 10 minutes breaking it down. What are you talking about?
Had too many trades.
We actually should. You know what we should have done? Actually, maybe we still will do it really quickly. I just want to pick like 3 people in the league, and you guess. Tell me what team they're on.
Okay.
See,
Mooney.
Chris.
Oh, man. Nobody knows that one.
Oh,
I
just saw him yesterday.
I actually did know this.
Darnell Mooney has been
hold
he's
on.
literally been on half the teams in the
Give me
league.
1 second. I just saw this dude yesterday. Brock.
Yes.
Alright.
Took him a while. Who's
I'm
another
gonna close my
one?
phone.
Yeah, another one's good. Oh man.
It's got to be Russell Gage. Well, no, you just dropped him, but he would have been a good one.
I couldn't tell you. Told you.
He's been on a couple
Yeah, I
teams.
couldn't tell you.
Boston Scott.
I know the answer to that one.
Brock.
Yeah.
Just pick everybody on Brock.
And the last one I'll say is I'm trying to find someone who's been moved a lot.
Try not to look at your phone and see
Oh,
which
yeah.
team you're looking at.
Definitely did this before.
We
Yeah.
should have, yeah, but
This is a good segment for next show. It's like the Chuck segment.
yeah.
Who the hell is that?
Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh God. I know he got traded. Alright. He was talking to me about it, man. That's Bry.
No, Matt.
honestly, Steve's team is the way to go because anyone that was on Steve's team isn't there anymore.
And that wasn't me saying he was talking to me about Emmanuel. I'm thinking in my head, who did I hear say he was talking to me about Emmanuel Sanders?
So that goes to show you how many pieces have
Holy
moved. Maybe we'll do
shit.
that next week. Yeah, we'll just.
Steve has to have the
Yeah, you
trade
start
record.
getting a list together.
We might do a week to week, just like 3 names.
start getting a list
Steve
together.
has to have he definitely has the single season trade record. He might have the all-time
Yeah.
trade record now. Based
In
on
1
that.
year, yeah, he could.
Alright, back to these games.
Wait, real quick, Jarvis Landry.
Alright, hold on. Hold up.
This.
Foster.
Nah, Steve.
Oh my god, hell! How did he get him? Tom had him.
I don't know.
Did Tom trade him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tom traded him straight up for
I just happened to scroll over his team. I saw Landry. I thought the same thing. I was like, when the hell did he get Landry?
It was Beasley.
I said Foster.
He's been trying to Beasley.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna take Brock over Brian.
Yeah,
I don't like it, but
I liked Brian going into the
I take Bry with the caveat that Kyler Murray plays.
even if Robinson misses.
all things considered.
Yeah, I think
He's
so.
probably
because
starting
Aaron
Sutton. If he,
Aaron Rodgers has been ruled out, right?
No, Charlie
No.
got him in. Charlie just put him in.
No.
Well, I mean, is the news come out? I don't care if Charlie's got him in his lineup.
Well,
We haven't heard-
Because I think that is going to impact Aaron Jones significantly.
I feel like we haven't heard that he. Well, he would have had to test it negative today because he has to take back-to-back 24 hours by
Yeah.
Saturday.
I've seen nothing on that.
Either have I. So.
Yeah.
All right, next game. Alexander's Greats versus
Charlie.
C Block's
Charlie, let's move on.
biggest loser.
Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. I also agree.
Nah.
LT Grey Azul
Man,
versus
I like
Snowy
Matt for the
Radskins.
Does Foster not have a lineup in?
No, I believe he does now. He does not. He does. His kicker's on bye.
And Kamara.
And Kumar is hurt.
So
Ingram's
well, I mean,
going
he
to
should have
jump in.
Ingram's projected points there, so it should be at like 10.
Ingram put him at 96. And then you add in the kicker.
96.
Add in the kicker, they're all about 7 right now. They put him at 103.
Oh, this is before Hollywood Brown had a bad game.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now.
Oh
Ingram,
yeah, I'm using the cheat.
Ingram
oh,
would put him at 90, so
Give me
he'd
Matt.
still be a 29-point underdog. Plus his kicker would be like a 20.
Tom.
Matt.
Tom versus Jose. Tom. And
Game
me
of the
versus,
week?
me versus Jake.
Obviously, I like myself, but I do not like the way everything unfolded the other night, regardless of what Lamar Jackson.
I will say.
Yeah, his last name is
Miller.
Jackson. Yeah.
That fucking asshole.
I,
Regardless of how it played out the other day, I don't like how I got
I
6
don't-
points out to players.
I know you made a joke
Positions.
of me being my humility earlier, I believe, but I just look at it. I don't know how the hell I'm going to win this game.
Yeah, it's not.
So I'm going to take Jake.
I can tell you how you have Ezekiel Elliott, you have Dalvin Cook. who
Those are
both,
fair
I
points.
believe,
Those
had
are two really good
fantastic
points.
matchups. I get Cook's playing the Chargers, who I think are the worst rush defense in the league,
One of the
and
top.
Elliott's playing Atlanta, who, they're a bad defense, but that offense can kind of screw everything up for him. So I can kind of understand.
I have
that.
Adrian Peterson in my starting lineup.
I have Antonio Gibson.
That's fair.
It would be a hell of an upset if Joe beat you.
I don't see where the upset. It was a 55-45 probability to start the week. That is not a huge upset to me. 6-3,
I
6-3.
think him getting 15 out of Lamar's
It's tough.
pretty rough.
The week was
Yeah.
123 to, with his kicker, 113.
I think you're the favorite.
If there's anyone at this table who wants me to win, it's me.
Yeah,
But-
no, I don't.
With
I'll be
all
honest,
that
I
said,
don't.
I win this week.
I'm going to take
Jake.
Jake.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep.
That's it. This show was as fun as the trade deadline was.
This show sucked.
I had a
Yeah,
good
so
time.
we
I
just-
love this show.
we
I
just-
had a good time.
We just talked about shit. We pretty much the only thing we added really was the matchups, and I guess didn't we cover the playoff
We
percentages
teased.
a little bit? I think we mentioned.
detector.
We
Sector
teased
again?
live detector. One of these weeks we'll break
We
it
came
out.
up with a new segment.
We
Well,
did.
I
Oh,
didn't. Yeah, I
Who's he
thought.
play for?
I didn't like. I thought we were keeping it short.
So
I didn't
even
because I got another one too that
this
I want
extra
to run
show,
by you guys after this.
we come up with a new segment, and then teased another new segment that's coming, and then Mike has another new segment. Shows
So
his
there's
power.
a TikTok like phase going around or phrase going around. It's like a song. I don't exactly know.
Last couple of years.
I don't know exactly
Soon we're
what
gonna
the.
have editing.
Are we edit? Are we
Yeah.
editing this? Or we still got?
I don't care.
This
we
is
can
a
edit
show.
this. We can edit this out if we want
Don't
to.
edit this out.
But there's like a let me talk to him thing where it's like, I got someone for you. Let me talk to him, and it says 3 good things, and there's a 4th bad thing. I feel like we can build that into the show somehow. Maybe like even if we utilize players, so like
or owners. Like,
a wide
we have
receiver, yeah, like this guy's a wide receiver 2, 3 of the last 4 weeks.
Matt has the
Good
best team in the
thing.
league.
He's caught 5 passes.
Well, that's
he's
already the lie detector.
finished top 12, and then the bad thing is but he's on Jose's team.
All right.
You know what I mean? And then you got to guess the player.
So we just gave away what we're doing to the people.
Yeah, let's just do a brainstorming show. That'd be fun. I tell people to comment, but like I said, we realize we don't have many viewers.
Dude, we didn't even have likes. I did throw a temper tantrum to get to 7 likes.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can drag this on longer so Jake has to still sit there.
I don't like this.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you later.